So there's two forms of mount. One is a low mount. Low mount is when my hips are low, I'm crossing my feet under his butt. Notice that my feet are light. They're not really, my knees are light. My knees aren't really on the mat. If my knees are on the mat, I'm like this, I don't really have a lot of weight on him. I actually want to make him carry my weight. Now, there's low mount and there's high mount. Anytime I'm in low mount, it's because I can't get underneath his elbows. The only time I'll go to high mount is when I can get under his elbows. So the way that I get, and all the good attacks coming from mount are mostly going to come from the high mount. There's like a couple that'll come from low mount where if I'm hugging his head, and then if I can get into his neck, I can Ezekiel choke him. But like here, look, if I can open up his neck here, I will come in and I'll grab and I can push this into his neck and choke him from there. Sometimes I can come over the top like this. And if I can grab, then I can come in this way and choke. I can punch it into his neck this way and choke right into the carotid. But if I can just lay it over the top, come from behind, and then I can choke him this way. Just grabbing here onto my gi and just driving it into his throat. The Ezekiel choke is right there. But other than that, from the low mount, it's going to be hard to attack. So what I want to do is go to a high mount. And the way I go to high mount, there's different ways, but this is the way I like. I like to cup his head. That way when I start to drive up, he can't move away from him. So I'm going to drive my thighs underneath his elbows. Once my thighs go under his elbows, I'll sit back and put my head behind my hips. That way if he oompas or bridges, I'm not going to go. So like just try to bridge over your shoulder. Look, I'm just going to kind of like ride him. All my weight's on top of him. Notice my knees are not on the mat. Okay, now like the first attack I always look for is always going to be the cross choke from here. So another way to go to a high mount is just get in high mount and post my hands on the mat. That way if he bucks me here, I got a base on either side with my hand. Now I'm going to look for the choke. I always like to go thumb in on the first grip, deep as I can. Thumb in on the grip. Once I do, I want to connect my elbows to his chest. That way he can't get under my arm. If my arm's here, he'll get under and peel my arm off. See? So from here, I go here into his chest, getting a tight grip. Then look, I go over to this side. Now if he starts to buck me this way, look, I can post my head and stop him. Okay? Now I come over here. Now look what I do. I bring my elbow across his face, and then I get a grip on the second grip. Now I'm going to square up and get the choke. It's very tight from there. So again, if I'm in low mount and I want to go to the high mount, I trap his head and I force my knees under his arm. And then I start to sit back. All right, now he's just carrying my weight. I want to get the first grip. So the way I get it is I just slide my thumb inside the material and I get a good grip. Sometimes I'll put my head on the mat and I'll cinch it up, connecting my elbow to his chest so he can't get under my arm. Now look, I'm going to go to the other side, make a good base, and then I can find material. Any material that I can get on his gi, I will. I'll bring my elbow in and I'll square back up and get the choke. It's a very tight choke. That's the first attack that I do from there. Now another one is I can feed this hand in nice and tight. And as I go to do the other one, he starts to turn on his side. Like he starts to turn on his side to defend it like this. And when he does, I can stop him. So I can stop him here. And then from this position, I'm going to bring my heel into his armpit like this. And I'm leaning really heavy onto his body with my leg. And then I like to grab this arm. Once I grab this arm, I pull it to me. This leg floats over his face, and I just fall to my butt here. Now, from here, I just go into grab here and go into the brakes. If he locks his hands, this is fine. Remember what we did? Grabbing the fingers peeling it off, and finishing the armbar. It's right there. So again, this choke to this armbar, they flow together. So I'm in the high mount. Always can be in high mount as long as my thighs are underneath his elbows. All right? So I fish the first grip. As I do, he starts to just turn to stop it, and then he ends up in this position. I throw my foot in his armpit, and then a lot of times I just come and I can grab this arm. I have a lot more control of him by grabbing this arm than if I didn't. Sometimes he can kind of like, spin really hard into me or something. So if I grab this, I just throw my leg over, and I fall. I fall to my my butt. Then look, this hand feeds, I grab my own lapel. Oh look, I just find the fingers wherever they may be. Peel it off, and then finish the armbar. Remember, elbow over the hip. So that's one attack from there. The other option from here is going into, like, let's say an S mount. If I go into S mount, then what I need to do is this. I need to get one knee above his head. And the way I do that is I take my elbow and I start to put pressure on the top of his head. And then as I do that, I slide my knee over his head. Once I do that, I catch his elbow and I bring this foot here like this. Now, with this knee over his head, he can't move up and he can't try to escape from me. Everything's in tight. Now look, from here, I'm gonna pull this arm out and I'm gonna get it out of my way. Then I'm gonna find the second arm. I'm gonna pull it up, grabbing my lapel, posting the hand, and then I slide my shin over his face. I should have a tight armbar from there. It sucks. So again, going
way to learn, Sensei.
Going to the S mount. To set this up, I put my elbow on his head and I don't let it move. I bring my knee above his head, catching this elbow, and then I slide my foot underneath his armpit. Now if he tries to move, it's gonna be very hard. He's really stuck here. Okay, now I gotta get this arm out of the way. So I lift it, I push the elbow, and I force it over here. And then I lift this arm, get it out, trap it, post my hand on the mat, slide my shin over his face, and get the lock. So the next position from there, it's very tight. If I post and I start to slide over his head like this, catching, go back to the S mount. I try to touch my knee to my chest. Sometimes I can't, right? So, again, I'm going to pick this arm up and I'm going to force it over my hip. Let's say I can't dig this arm out for whatever reason. I can't dig it out because he's got it really tight. That's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post my hand out here and then I'm going to start to move my body this way. As I do, look, if my arm's here, but look at where I'm at in this position. If he tries to drive up on top of me, it's gonna be really hard. Now look what I do with my knee. I just come up and arm locking from there. So I'll show that one more time.
So you mind moving the other arm?
Yeah, I'll do it on the other side. So look, I'm here, my elbow goes here, I slide up, cupping, and then I'm in this position. I pick, like just give me a little resistance. Look, he's resisting. I just pick this up and I force him to put it there. Now I base my hand out this way and look at where I stay. Try to come up, he's gonna be stuck. And then look, I also can come here too. Ooh. Oh my God.
Feel that one?
Holy shit. I felt it move. Okay.
We're good.
All right, stop there.